Hey everyone, what's up? This is the Game Forum's Extended Forum, episode 28. Today we're going to be talking about Halo, some new Xbox news, Fortnite, Hitman, and a new Walking Dead game.
But first, what have you been playing these past couple of weeks?
Yeah, we were kind of got out of the loop there for a little bit. I went on vacation and you had to move, so
Yeah,
fun
yeah.
times. But we're
And
back.
Corona, the virus, not the beer. Yeah.
um, So yeah, I've been playing a good bit. Been playing a lot more Ghost of Tsushima. I've
hmm
almost beat that game. Ton of fun.
Yeah.
Been playing some more Crossout. Picked up what was it? Played and beat Superliminal. I'll hopefully have a review out for that one this week. Um, went through the Marvel Avengers beta. We should have a first impressions already up on that one by the time this video comes out.
hmm
So yeah, I've been kind of jumping around everywhere. I did finally go through and max out the Battle Pass and Crossout. So
Ooh.
now I'll probably be starting to shift over to other things. So I'm hoping I can beat Ghost of Tsushima soon, and then I don't know what I'm going to pick up next. How about you, Zach? What have you been playing?
First, what act are you in Ghost?
I think I've got one more mission in Act 2.
Ooh. Okay, I'm very interested in doing a spoiler cast type thing with you for this, if you are.
Yeah, so I'm definitely up
Okay.
for that one when I beat it. I'm going to try
Okay.
and beat it this week.
So I have finished Ghost of Tsushima, and I have gotten the Platinum Trophy as well. I played the hell out of it. I had Tuesday night off and Wednesday night off. I literally just only breathed, slept, and then played Ghost. That was literally it. Um, I do have some thoughts on the pacing. There's some issues there, but Lindsay, brace yourself is all I have to say. Act 2 into Act 3 is just the best video game moments I think I've experienced, maybe this generation. The ending is I was just I almost was like I want to stand up and clap, but it's like 3 o'clock in the morning and my kid's asleep next to me, so there was no need for that. But uh, I I like it better than The Last of Us Part Two, but I'm not sure if it's like my favorite game ever for the PS4. But I definitely think that it's game of the year. Only usurper to it could be Mafia Definitive Edition, which is only just because of nostalgia, because of how I've played the original. But I think you are going to be absolutely floored with the last third of Ghost of Tsushima. At least I hope so.
hmm
Uh,
Well,
definitely.
I've been very impressed with everything that I've played so far. And like I said, a lot of it I go through and I play a lot of the stuff as I go on. Like, I've already liberated the entire bottom island.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, so I don't really just jump straight on the story and then try and go back to everything else. I try and do like a good bit of everything.
Yeah.
I've already got most of the armors I have maxed out. I've already got his sword maxed out. I think I have all the fighting stances maxed out too, and pretty much all the ghost weapons. So
Okay.
I know I'm getting close. I don't think Act 3 is going to be nearly as long as Act 2.
No. Act 3 is maybe like 5 hours, 5, 6 hours. It's very short, but it is pure like honed in on the story, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've been kind of playing a bunch of stuff here and there now that I'm free from the chains of Ghost of Tsushima. But so I've put some time into Minecraft Dungeons. Are you familiar with that game?
A little bit. It's more
It's
like
it's
a.
like Diablo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually kind of fun. It's a little simple though, but I mean, what it's Minecraft, so what do you expect? But it's a little fun. I platinum Star Wars Episode One Racer, the remaster of the Nintendo 64 game. It was fun. I got the platinum in that. I started Man Eater, which I believe I talked about that the previous extended forum. I've put a little bit more time in. I like it. It's fun. It's just something kind of fun to goof around with and stuff. And then I did start Disintegration, which was a game that I was like really interested in, and then I just never picked it up. It was on sale, picked it up, started it, maybe played like 2 hours of it. Definitely not happy with it. It's kind of like I don't know. It's the voice acting is terrible. The graphics are okay. Performance is pretty bleh. The combat is it's definitely a regret on my end, but that's buyer beware. You know, I probably should have picked it up if I,
Well, I mean,
but I did.
maybe you should do a review on it because, like I said, we did a first impression on that one,
Yeah,
and I was really excited for it going in, and then afterward, I was not nearly as excited after
yeah,
playing it a bit, and then you played a little bit more of the open beta and got drawn back in. So I'm curious to see, like, if you did a review, what about the
yeah,
game drew you back in, and then what about the game made you finally decide, no, I didn't enjoy this.
yeah.
So I would definitely recommend, maybe doing a review on that one now that you've played it and kind of bounced back and forth on your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna play a little bit more, put some more time into it. I've played only the single player. I have tried multiple times to find a multiplayer match, and I've waited 10 plus minutes, and I haven't found any. That was on 3 separate occasions. So I'm assuming no one's playing multiplayer anymore, but we'll have to see. Uh, Other than that, after I finished Ghost of Tsushima, I started Trials of Mana or Trials of Mana. It's an action JRPG. I was kind of in the mood for a JRPG, but I didn't want a 90-hour one. So I did some research, and Trials of Mana is like 20 to 30 hours. It's super fun. There's a lot of cool stuff about that. There's like 9 characters, and you choose one as your character that you're playing as, and then you have 2 companions. You have companion one and then companion two, and you can select either whichever ones you want. And depending on who you start as, determines where you start off in the story based on like your like origin story type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the companions, in what order you pick them, is where you kind of come across them within the story. But the companions that you don't pick, or the characters you don't pick, are also in the story, but you'll find them at random parts. So like all 9 characters are there, and so there's literally like 9 ways to play this game. Well, I guess a lot more, because you can mix match which companions you have with you and what order you meet them, and that'll change the story based on like if you have the healer as your first companion, you're going to go to a certain town first to meet the healer, as opposed to the second companion, as opposed to selecting her not at all, but you will still run across her and when you go to that town. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. I didn't expect it to be like that, you know, just a crazy system for everything. But so I started on that. I played a few hours, but then there's one game that has come out on PlayStation Plus. It's free right now. I don't know if you've played it yet. Fall Guys. Have you been able to
I
play it?
I have seen some videos on that. It looks fun. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, though.
So yeah, I've played it like a whole lot, and I was not expecting to get dragged into it and stuff, and like dude, I don't know, like if I keep playing it, it may end up being my game of the year. Like not seriously, but also seriously. Um, I've won an episode. I got a crown one time, and it was awesome. I have it recorded, so because it was totally cool. I don't know, man. It's just like super fun. Like other people in the house have picked it up and played it. I played with my brother. It was super. It is such a fun game. The battle pass system seems rewarding. The server issues was a little annoying, but that's just because there was like 10 million people trying to play it at once. Or at least within the first week of launch, there's been like 10 million people total that signed on, which is insane.
Oh, I heard it's only been made by like one guy.
Yeah, it's a very small team. I think one person like did the coding and the brunt of the design work, but there's more people involved with it, especially with the servers and stuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's all I've played these past like what 3 weeks. But I mean, I guess it's still a pretty hefty amount.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess getting into the news, Halo has been delayed until 2021.
Yeah,
So they did the Xbox event and they got a lot of heat for what Halo looked like, because this is supposed to be a next gen game, and it didn't even look as good as a lot of current gen games. So Xbox and Microsoft originally said, no, it's what we're going for. It's more of an aesthetic choice, and I think the heat on them has been so high. They are going to delay it another year, and I think they're going to put a lot more emphasis on the graphics for this, because I think that really failed to wow a lot of people. And I mean, I can't really blame folks. I mean, I was
yeah,
expecting something a lot more out of Halo is Xbox's flagship title.
yeah.
How do you think the Xbox Series X is going to do at launch without their biggest title at launch?
I think it's gonna do as well as they were already expecting, because I don't think they're trying to sell the console. It seems like they're trying to sell Game Pass and in accession with having a console, for people that want a physical thing. But I feel like whether or not they shipped with delay or with Halo, it doesn't really change their game plan, because I mean, realistically, I think they're playing the long term game. They want people on Game Pass, and having Halo would work at launch, but if they were going to delay it, then that just gives them like room to breathe. One, that makes the game better. Two, they get to release it in a window that's not next to the PlayStation 5 and potentially, their Spider-Man game that could be launching. And we also don't know, like, that could get delayed too. I mean, hell, the consoles could get delayed too. They haven't even announced anything yet on, in terms of release date and price, so these could totally, end up getting delayed. But I mean, it's gonna hurt, especially if if you're a person that was invested in Halo and invested in getting, the new console, and then all of a sudden it's not gonna be here anymore, and so they could be like, well, I guess I'll just get a PS5. But then again, if you are already invested in getting the Series X, I imagine you already have either a gaming PC or a Xbox One, so you can still like take advantage of Game Pass. So it's definitely consumer friendly in the long term, but for hardcore gamers, for like you and I, we're like, well, we want the new console, we want the new games, and it's only on PlayStation, so it'll be interesting to see how their system develops over time. It's possible that Halo Infinite may be reworked to be exclusive to the Series X. It could get delayed till fall, next year instead of like the first few months. So they could like really, really rework it to be a powerhouse that it should be.
Well, I definitely think they're gonna go back and rework it. I don't know if they're gonna rework it to be a Series X exclusive, simply
Yeah,
because they've put so much focus on, everything will be cross compatible for like the first 18 months. If 6 months in, they then say, well, Halo's only coming to Series X now because everyone wanted better graphics. Now you're going to have everyone who is, being like, well, I'll just wait, and I want to play Halo, but I want to play it on an Xbox One. Well, what the hell? You just told me I could do that. Now I can't.
yeah.
It's not going to be a winning situation, I don't think, now that they've already pretty well come out and said that concrete. Um, so like I said, I'm curious to see what they're going to do. We might need to make a more in-depth video comparing PlayStation and Xbox, and especially their launch strategies here, because they
Yeah.
seem to be going toward very different business strategies.
Yeah, and with that delay news, they also did confirm that the Xbox Series X is coming out in November. They didn't give an exact date, but they did say like, "Hey, it's still coming out in November. We at least have that coming." I'm sure they did that to give some good sway to the bad news that came out about Halo. But what what do you think? Because the rumor right now is that it's going to be like early November, and I would assume that PlayStation 5 is probably going to push it as far as they can before Black Friday. So maybe November 20th for the PS5 and November 6th for the Series X. What do you think?
I think they're going to be coming out pretty close to each other, but I definitely think both of them will come out before Black Friday because that's like one of the biggest shopping holidays in the U.S.
Yeah.
I do not see either of these consoles not being on shelves for Black Friday. I think that would really hurt the sales of any console if it's not out by then. So I think that is pretty well their deadline to be, not just rolling it out, but in stock. So it's probably going to be at least a week or two, minimum before Black Friday.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. And also coming hot off of this news, just a few days before, actually, some controllers were stolen from some retail stores. This was in, I believe, Chicago. There was a riot or some sort that happened, and some people got their hands on these controllers that weren't available yet, and they're starting to sell it like on the street and stuff. And so, but on that controller, on the side of it, it says that it is compatible with the Xbox Series X/S. So it's basically soft confirmed that the Series S is a thing, which we all knew. It's the world's worst kept secret when it comes to video games. And so it looks like they should be announcing the Series S soon. That brings in a whole other slew of questions with like, well, what's its release date? Is it going to be the same day and date as the Series X? What's the price? There's a lot of interesting questions that can come from this. But if these retailers had those controllers this early, then we should be getting an announcement of some sort soon, right?
I would think so because Xbox has still not confirmed the Series S. It's still codenamed Project Lockhart,
Yeah,
which I find incredibly strange considering they've already sent these out to retailers. Because, okay, yes, someone broke in and stole this, but I mean, what about like minimum wage people who quit and don't give a crap and happen to see that? I mean, there is
yeah.
no way that they could be keeping this much stuff that secret for very long. I don't understand why they didn't jump ahead of this. I feel like if not now, it would have only been a matter of time. So either A, they were just right about to like make an announcement about this, or B, something happened and they sent stuff out and now had to go back and try and cover everything up because they weren't ready to make an announcement yet. So I would almost feel like the situation we have now, where some of this stuff is already in stores, um, they were already going to make an announcement, and something happened that prevented them from making that announcement. Either A, they were going to try and say, here's the Series X, here's the Series S, and this is the release date. And then some manufacturing thing happened, and they're like, oh, due to COVID, we can't meet these production goals. We're not going to be able to hit that release date. And they're scrambling around trying to figure out when the new release date's going to be. Meanwhile, they've already started sending controllers out to stores, and now, of course, somebody ended up finding one of these controllers, and now they've lost their big reveal because it makes no sense to me, like to go ahead and send a product out for something you haven't even like confirmed to the public exist yet.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to find out how this happened, which I mean, honestly, we may not ever. Um, I was just you know guessing that they were gonna sell the controllers ahead of time just to kind of get people to get their hands on them and stuff. And on the side of it, it does have to say like it's compatible with the Series X and the S, because it's gonna have to be there for future proofing. But maybe yeah, they did plan on at least acknowledging the Series S by now, or maybe this week, like this coming up week, maybe that's when they were planning on doing that, and it just everything kind of got leaked way too early. There's really no way to know.
Yeah. Continuing on in other news, Fortnite was just removed from the iOS store. Um, so there's a bit going on in this. iOS charges a big premium for content placed on the store. I think it's like what 30%.
Yeah,
Um, So essentially, if you buy something from Fortnite for $5, 30% of that goes directly to Apple through the iOS store. Well, Epic Games decided to make a in-game purchase system where you could buy something directly from the Epic Games store, kind of going around the Apple store. Um, and by doing this, Apple didn't get their cut, and it made it cheaper, and they passed those savings on to the consumer. So instead of paying, you know, $5 to get $5 worth of Fortnite credits, you might pay like $3 to get $5 worth of Fortnite credits, which a lot of people liked, except Apple, because Apple no longer got that extra $2. So Apple immediately removed Fortnite from the iOS store. And I really get the feeling that Fortnite was prepared for this. Like, this is not just something out of the blue, because they already have taken Apple to court over this, and
Hmm.
they already have a almost like a little parody commercial
Yeah, I
targeting
saw that.
Apple. I'm not a big Fortnite fan, but I really liked that commercial.
Yeah,
Um,
huge respect for Fortnite for taking on, or well, for Epic taking on Apple. That's it's pretty ballsy and pretty impressive though.
well, I mean, it's two multi-billion-dollar companies fighting over money, so
Yeah,
I definitely have to side with Fortnite over this. I think it is ridiculous that Apple gets a cut and makes prices higher for something. I mean, I get that they support the platform, but for literally everything, I think is ridiculous. But yeah, in their commercial, it's kind of poking fun of an Apple commercial back from the 80s, making fun of Windows, where
yeah,
everyone's kind of gray and, just a slave to the machine, and someone comes in and throws a sledgehammer at the giant monitor. Except this time around, Fortnite is making it out to where Apple is the big, huge corporation now. I mean, which they
yeah,
are.
yeah, yeah. It's pretty funny when you think about it, and and also interesting to note that Epic is majority owned by Tencent.
Oh yes. So
So
there's a lot of rivalry here on several levels.
there's definitely some ulterior motives that we may not know, but you can definitely look into it yourself a little more and see what could be going on. All right, moving on, we got some VR news. So back at this state of play that happened a few weeks ago, Hitman 3 was announced to be in VR, fully playable in PlayStation VR, but also that Hitman 1 and 2 in their entirety will also be playable in PlayStation VR. What do you think about that?
I think this is awesome.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed some of the Hitman games in the past. I haven't played all of them, but I will definitely be picking them up for VR and playing them all in VR because this just seems really cool. Like, this is something that kind of came out of nowhere. I was not expecting this. I had not heard anything previously for this. And watching this, I'm just like, oh man, this is awesome. I'm like, I really want to try this.
yeah, I was definitely not expecting this at all. I mean, Hitman in VR sounds good, but when you think about it, you're like, ah, no, that studio would never do that. That's you're taking a niche game and you're adding a niche mode to it. Like that doesn't make sense, but for some reason they did it. But it sparked my interest. I'm definitely considering picking it up when it comes out. At least Hitman 3. Now it would be interesting to see if Hitman 1 and 2 just retroactively get the PSVR mode added in because I already own those two,
Mm-hmm.
and that would be awesome to go ahead and like even if I have to upgrade for like 10, 15, $20 to get the VR mode in, I think that'd still be kind of worth it just to play it. And there's nothing really like this on VR, nothing like specifically like this, and so that's going to be pretty interesting.
No, I mean it's a very different type of gameplay, and I think even going back and doing some of the games you've done before on a flat screen will feel very different in VR, being there in first person. So
Yeah,
it'll be better in some aspects, as you can kind of get a better feel for distances and see exactly where everyone's at. But in other aspects, I think it's going to be trickier because you're not going to have that, third person view to see roughly where everyone's at, to kind of look around corners. I definitely feel like it's going to make the game have a lot higher level of intensity to it.
Yeah, which would be good, especially for a game like Hitman.
Yeah. Um, and continuing on in VR news, Walking Dead is getting another VR game.
Yeah,
Um, I've been playing through Saints and Sinners. I haven't picked it up in the last couple of weeks. I do want to go back and finish that one up. But now they've just announced Walking Dead Onslaught in VR. Instead of a crafting game, this one looks like it's going to be more focused on a story. Looks like you either get to play as Dale or play with Dale, but you get a lot better weapons than in the crafting version. I mean, I see all sorts of, shotguns, machine guns, um, tons of machetes, all sorts of stuff. So it looks like this one's going to be um, maybe not quite as intense as like, oh man, I don't have any weapons, or I got to find this to craft that, but more focused on a story, and you're probably going to be fighting a lot more zombies in this game.
yeah. It looked interesting. I liked that it was adding Daryl and Rick from the actual like TV show in it. I don't know if they were voiced by the actors. It kind of sounded like it was. I know, was it Norman Reedus? I'm pretty sure he's lending his actual voice. He's pretty much full blown voice actor now when it comes to video games. So that was kind of cool. Wasn't expecting it. It looked good. It looked maybe a little better than Saints and Sinners, but I don't know how it's going to feel in terms of like actually playing it. But it surprised me, and it comes out what, end of September?
Yeah, this one really took me by surprise because I mean the Saints and Sinners came out on PlayStation VR only a couple months ago, and it had been on what was it, some of the other VR platforms before coming to PlayStation for about a year. But I mean, I guess this means it was successful enough to where they said, "Hey, let's go ahead and make another one," and then went ahead and made another VR game already. So, I mean, this really lets me think that, VR is successful enough if some of these studios are going, "Oh man, this wasn't only just mildly successful. This was successful enough to where we can, justify going ahead and greenlighting and making another game." So, I mean, this timeline seems super fast to me.
Yeah, that is pretty quick, and I definitely need to look into it because I'm not sure if it's like the same developers. I would imagine Skybound's a part of it. They kind of control the rights to The Walking Dead, so I don't know. It's definitely interesting that they're coming out so close to each other, though.
Yeah, that was the biggest surprise to me. But I mean, hey, I'll take it. It looks cool. I'll probably end up picking this one up at some point. Don't know if I'll get it quite at launch. I still need to go and finish up the last Walking Dead VR game. But I mean, I've had a lot of fun with that one. I thought that one was really well done. So I'm excited to see, you know, more VR content. I'm a big fan of VR. I really enjoy it. So I'm really excited to see it becoming so popular.
Yeah, I'm definitely keeping my eye on it. I don't know if I'll pick it up on launch either. I'm not a huge VR fan. I do have a PlayStation VR, so I really should look into this stuff more just to see, if it's going to grab my interest. But of the two Walking Dead VR games, this one definitely grabbed me a little more. But I'll have to wait until it comes out and see what everyone else is saying.
Yeah, I guess for everybody else, tell us what you think about VR and the future of VR in the comments down below. And until next time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.